Hey team, Browncat here again. Welcome to our review for the brand new Nacon Revolution Unlimited PS4 controller. Now remember to give us a like or a sub if you dig the review, and also a big thanks to Nacon and Bluemouth for supplying us with the product to have a look at. Righto, without any further ado, let's just dig into it. The lack of a real elite controller on the PS4 has always been a pet peeve of mine. The Xbox has had the stunning Xbox Elite controller from Microsoft for a long time, and PS4 gamers have been stuck with pretty good wannabes from third parties. Well, things have changed in some ways, and we have had our prayers answered. Nacon have teamed up once again with PlayStation and have improved on the original Nacon Revolution in pretty much every way. But that being said, there are still a few missteps too. So, as per our new review methodology, I'm going to do a bit of an unboxing and an overview of the controller, then just dig into the good, the bad and the ugly. I'll also do some video comparisons of the original Nacon Revolution, and I'll probably have a look at the PlayStation DualShock 4 too as we go. Rightio, so the overview. The Unlimited is a wireless PS4 and PC controller with extra shortcut buttons and has the ability to be tuned and adjusted via an app on a PC. It is priced at $299 in Australia, $180 in US, and it's probably going to hit that $350 mark in New Zealand. In the box is a really well made hard carry case, a microfiber cloth, the USB wireless dongle, and the weights and sticks customization kit. Also included is a Nacon embossed 3-meter braided USB-C cable used for charging and also plugging into the PS4 or the PC for wired mode. Frankly, the controller looks great, it feels great in the hands, and I've really enjoyed using it so far. I'll just get that out of the way. It has all the same control features of a DualShock 4, but obviously has the offset sticks, which I prefer. It has extra controls and switches on the underside too. It feels bigger than a DualShock 4. It sits in my hands really well. The sticks are ridiculously smooth and the triggers have smooth resistance just like the Xbox Elite controller feels. Importantly, the bumpers have changed from the original Nacon to a more responsive feeling button that contours along the index finger far better. The D-pad is hugely improved and can be modified through the app to being a 4-way or an 8-way directional pad. Underneath is the profile switches and buttons. The small lever clicks between the standard PS4 tune mode, the advanced custom mode, and then the PC compatible mode. The middle switch changes it from wireless to wired, and the profile buttons let you choose between the 4 custom tuned profiles saved to the controller. There is a headphone volume adjustment and mute controls. Now, as an aside, holding down the mute button flashes the profile lights and lets you know how much battery is left in 4 quadrants because there's 4 lights. And then that leaves the all important configurable shortcut buttons as well. Compared to the original Nacon, there is a lot more on offer. Even the app is greatly improved. Now, to make use of the profiles, the controller has to be plugged into a PC and accessed through the Nacon app, which is downloaded from the Nacon website. Now, unlike the first generation of Nacon controllers, to access the app you have to create a Nacon account with your name and date of birth, etc. Which for some people may be fine, but I just hate having to give over my personal information when it's not really needed. But you have to create the Nacon account to get access to the tuning app. Now, tuning allows for responsiveness on both sticks now to be adjusted. The triggers don't have physical stops, but they can be tuned to suit your play style. Shortcut buttons can be easily added and altered, and even the lighting can be played with. I've been playing Days Gone, and in the heat of a zombie battle, the stock controls for the game means you've got to use the D-pad to use a health kit, which means the left thumb has to come off the stick to use that D-pad. What I did is added a shortcut so I could run, shoot and heal all at the same time. Worked a charm, only took 2 minutes to set up. Now, jumping and reloading in first-person shooters like Destiny or Titanfall are easily changed to the underside buttons. However, I will say, I don't like the feel of the buttons when you're sort of under pressure. They look smooth and have a nice form factor, but I would prefer an outright button or a pedal or something with a distinct sort of press feel as opposed to a slight click that the current ones have. The sticks are metal shafts and on metal collars on the controller, and they are smooth and tough. The shaft width can be changed, as can the tops of the sticks, so if you prefer a convex or a concave shape, or you can just have a mix of both. I don't see the benefit of running a thicker stick, as it reduces the degrees of throw of the overall movement of the stick, but each to their own, I guess. I can't quite see the purpose of it myself, but you may do. The last moddable feature is the custom weights, which, hey, if you are next level pro gaming and 30 grams of weight will make or break how a controller feels in your hand, then brilliant, have at it. For me, it didn't really make a big difference. Now, the covers of the weights are easy removed compared to the original Nacon. They sit nicely in the hand and they have a rubberized feel, really nice feeling on the palm of your hand. In comparison to the DualShock 4 and the original Nacon, the Unlimited is pretty much superior in every way. It feels like quality. It has a bit smaller than the original Nacon, but has far better buttons and triggers. The sticks feel very similar though, and are just as smooth. So, that's the rundown. Let's just dig into the good, the bad, and the ugly. Okay, so let's just start with the good. It feels great. It's a top of the range sort of controller and it feels well made. The Unlimited, it feels great in the hand, it's substantial but not bulky. The sticks are smooth and the triggers and bumpers are thankfully vastly improved over the previous wired Nacon. It's wireless up to 7 meters and worked out of the box, no syncing, no updates, it just worked. It's as close as we're going to get to an elite controller on the PS4 at the moment. Now, the customization options are extensive, but if you have no interest in that stuff, you don't even need to bother with flicking the profile switch or downloading the app or anything. Just plug it in and play. The battery life is good at around 7 hours. It has a 1300 milliamp LiPo battery, but when it dies, there's not a lot of warning. You have to keep an eye on that mute button, holding it in for a second to give you the battery gauge, because I reckon the last quarter of the battery life actually dies away quicker than the rest of the battery's contents. Next up, the bad and the ugly. Let's have a bit of a look initially at what my kind of minor concerns are. Now, the Unlimited can't wake up the PS4 from sleep mode. So you have to power up the console, then you can turn on the controller and they'll sync up. You can't just plunk your ass on the couch, hit the PlayStation button on the controller and the PS4 will wake up. Nothing major, it's a first world problem, but it would have been nice to be able to just turn your controller on and the PlayStation powers up. Okay, the shortcut buttons have next to no play in them. They have a slight click, as I mentioned before, and for me they lack that definitive tactile feel when they get pressed. Like I said, I prefer a proper button or a paddle or something that you get real feedback on. Now, there is a lot of changeable parts, which is good. However, if bits get lost or clips break, Nacon don't have the best history of supplying replacement parts. Anyone who had a Nacon wired controller will know the heartache of just trying to get a replacement USB cable for that original Nacon controller. Now, I checked their website and I could not find any way to order a new thumbstick top or hand grip or stick collar. I've emailed them and haven't heard back. But if you're careful with all your bits and pieces, then it's not going to be an issue, but it's just something to bear in mind. Now, lastly, this is very late in the PS4 life cycle. In fact, in 18 months or so, this $300 could be put towards a PS5 potentially. So it would be nice to know if this controller is going to be cross-generation compatible, but I suspect we won't know anything prior to the PS5 actually launching anyway, but it's just something to bear in mind. So the next bit is the ugly, and I'm probably going to be a wee bit fussy here, but I'll just lay it out for you. When the USB dongle plugs into the USB port on my PS4 Pro, it folds up the wrong way. So the USB slot obviously can only go in one way. And how it's set up is you fold the aerial up and the Nacon emblem and the sync button facing backwards. So you're looking at like the label on the back side of the USB dongle. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Maybe it's just the way that the USB ports are mounted on the PS4 Pro. I haven't actually tried it in my stock PS4. The other thing is I have spoken to a user on Reddit who has an Unlimited, and he has had an issue around button inputs being confused. So he was pushing square and the controller was registering a X input. Now, I haven't heard this from anyone else, and I've trawled through Reddit and it doesn't seem to be an overly common thing, and I certainly didn't experience it myself. But it was just something that had cropped up in my cruisings around the internet. Okay, time for a bit of a summary here, team. The Unlimited is not without some niggles, but they are very minor and somewhat subjective, frankly, as it depends on what's important to you as a gamer. When you get down to it, it feels great in the hand. It's really well designed with lots of options available for people, and it just is stunningly well made. It is well put together, and for me personally, if I pick up a DualShock 4 now, it just feels wrong and a wee bit plasticky compared to this thing. Now, sure, it's a hefty price tag, and each person is going to have to make their own decision on that, especially considering where we are in the PS4's lifespan. But for me, it is my go-to PS4 controller, and I could not be without it. Okay, so that's enough from me. I hope you've enjoyed the review, team, and please swing past Koru-Cottage.com to check out the rest of our stuff. Thanks very much.